Yeah, and I think the hybrid of theater and the narrative structure of those songs with the pop songwriting is the kind of experiment that we kind of all embarked on, and everybody who worked on the movie in different ways was a big part of that, and also I think is sort of the reason for the breakout in a way.
So Ejae, I have to ask about your role, not only as songwriter, but also as performer. Was that the plan from the beginning?
No, definitely not.
Tell us how it came about.
Yeah, so again, I got on this project as a songwriter. And yeah, I was singing like all the demos for sure, including the boy band's demos. And it kind of was just like, it was funny because at that time, me and like Daniel would joke like, ah, it'd be funny if you were like the lead character, like singing the lead. I was like, ha 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 ha.
And you were joking.
I was completely joking. This is like 4 years ago, right? And then yeah, just suddenly, I think that the directors got used to my voice on the demo, and they were very nice, and they like said that they love my singing voice, and I was like, oh, thank you, and they asked, and I was like, of course, like, and it's also efficient, like for me, like as a songwriter, like I get to sing the songs that I wrote, so I feel like I knew how to sell the song, and also like it means a lot to me, and also just like when it comes to technical stuff, like like the harmonies, I could just kind of finish it at home, because we all work remotely. So yeah, that's kind of how the singing part came.
And we were also writing on Ejae's voice, so
Yeah.
the lyrics, had to, which would have anyway made sure that they fit
Yeah.
what she was singing.
That was awesome. That was really efficient again. I
Yeah.
love efficiency.
And so once you knew your actual
Yeah, so like
voice-
Mark would be like throwing some words and lyrics, and I'd be like, no, I don't like singing that. No, like it had to sing nicely, especially Golden. Like it's a hard song, and you're going up there. I had to have words that flowed nicely with the melody. So
Did you guys work together in the same room, or were you working remotely? Where were you?
we were mostly on Zoom,
yeah,
but
90%. I feel like Zoom.
yeah,
But in the beginning,
we were a little bit in
Yeah.
person because it turned out after we met on
Zoom.
the first phone call or the first Zoom, I was like, I'm in Bed-Stuy, and
I'm like, I'm in Prospect Heights. Like, wait, what? We live so close. Like, let's go. And
Ejae
Sorry.
literally came over.
like the day we met,
Yeah.
like on Zoom, I was like, hey, can I come over now? I was like, yes, immediately. It was amazing.
Yeah, it's just sort of a funny.
What was the process of songwriting like? Because there were at least 3 or 4 other songwriters, I think, on almost every tune. What was the process like in sort of finalizing where everything was going?
Yeah.
Well, I feel like every song was a little bit different, and in part because Maggie and Chris and Ian and Michelle and they're deep in where the songs are and what the songs need to do, but also that's evolving as the story, as we've all worked on movies in different ways, the story changes, the character's focus and emphasis changes. And so as those spots and the purpose of them became more clear for the songwriting, that was shifting along with who was working on different songs throughout the process.
Like
And
each writer in the project was kind of assigned
yeah.
each scene, Yeah, that's kind of how it started.
But for I feel like the ones we worked on with Teddy and Black Label, it was, they're amazing. They literally write and produce for Blackpink, and so they're making these amazing instrumental tracks that energetically Maggie and Chris and Ian are going, yeah, this one there, this is the battle scene, or for Golden, this is the kind of uplift that we want, and that's kind of the foundation where we start, that then come to us and we build out melody and
Yeah, so like
on that.
the process was, they would talk to the producers, have meetings, lots of meetings, and like what kind of sonically what they're looking for in that scene. And then, Black Label and the amazing producers would provide that for them. And once they approve the track, then they will send it to the song, like us, the song,
Yeah.
literally to us. And then we would, top line and write over that.
So you mentioned Golden,
Yeah.
which I looked at today on Spotify. It is nearing 700 million streams.
Really?
As of this morning, it was 692 million streams. And that's just on Spotify.
That's insane. Oh my God, thank you.
So let's talk a little bit about that. What was the idea behind the song, and was it always meant to be kind of the key song in the score?
Yeah, it was the I Want song, right? It was a very important part. Yeah, like that was it was actually the last song, and I feel like you Mark did a lot of the meetings with the directors to know what was needed, what the characters were going through, what the scene was trying to portray, right?
Yeah, well, so there were several other songs that were written for that spot, and there were some great songs, but again, like as clarity around what is this moment for Rumi, what is this moment in the movie. For a minute, it seemed like, oh, maybe Rumi's emotional outpouring is going to be the moment on the roof when she repeats in the movie now, Golden, and her voice is breaking down. So for me, I was like, oh, does she kind of sing the emotional thing there, and that's where her I Want is, and the Golden single comes earlier. But something that the directors and Ian put together, or I'm not sure actually came up with the idea, but had the really brilliant insight that maybe within the structure of Golden, you could have that breakdown. And before we're even writing, we're really thinking about what is and this is for all the songs, not just Golden, what does every line in the song do for the story? So with Golden, we knew it had to give the backstory of the girls. We knew we were going to get Rumi's backstory, Mira's backstory, Zoe's backstory.
Like what they were going through that they needed to overcome. Right?
Yeah. So you get Zoe, I lived two lives, tried to play both sides. And with the animation, you can see the Burbank pulled both ways. Mira, she was a problem child, but she was able to find a home on Huntrix on stage. Now that's why she's getting paid. And Rumi, given the throne, I didn't know, her mom was a hunter, and she's inheriting, and has this pressure to fulfill kind of this prophecy of stealing the home room. So we know that. We knew there has to be crazy high note in it.
Yeah, so
because only Rumi's voice can steal the home room.
So the directors gave us an incredible, like, detailed guideline of what we needed to write about. And also we knew that the word gold had to be in there.
Yeah.
Whether it be golden or something gold. So that was important. And also, I mean, the song is quite bittersweet, right? You said it was what was the word that you said? Anti-victory.
Oh, well, yes, for a little bit it was like, the directors referred to it as like the false victory
song. Yes.
Because when you hear it outside of the movie, it's also, I think one thing we're really proud of is if you hear the songs outside the movie, they're pop songs and they stand on their own.
And it sounds like a hopeful song.
Yeah, Golden is like
dream.
Yeah. But in the movie, the emotion and the irony comes from the fact that they're not there.
Yeah.
That's the gonna be golden. It's not we are golden. It's their striving. And for Rumi, she feels this pressure to be perfect, to be
golden,
to literally be golden.
Literally. Yeah.
And for her, that's tied up with put these patterns in the past. I have to basically wipe out this part of myself in order to steal the home and save the world.
And the irony of like I'm done hiding, and she's like hiding herself. You know, that's. You can see that contradicting itself in there. So
everything you just said suggests that there's an awful lot that had to go into this song that needed to be said, and that makes me wonder, how long did it take you to sort of finalize it and get all of those different elements into this song?
Well, funny story. Like when they first gave us the track, I was actually in Korea in the car on the way to the dentist. And you know, the story's been out there, but really was going to the dentist. Another detail was I was getting a gold filling. Isn't that great? I just found that out. Yeah, I know. My mom told me about that. Anyway, it's just everything happens for a reason. But yeah, it was on the way to the dentist, and I saw that I heard the track, and the track was just so good.
And that's what Teddy
and Teddy 24
they built this piece of music.
Beautiful instrumentation, and sometimes when it happens as a songwriter when the track is so good, like sometimes the inspiration comes immediately. And this time, yeah, it happened like melodically. The melody of the hook came instantly. I have the recording of me humming it, and the first thing that came was. And then you hear the second one going like, like you can hear it in my thing, and I have it, which maybe I'll share.
You realize, of course, these are historically important recordings.
Yes, I'm not realizing it. Thank God I was gonna
Do not erase these.
No, definitely not. But yeah, it was just so funny because I was so excited to show you because we had a session that night. And then like I got my goal filling and went home. And then I was just like, okay. So I went my Ableton, I tracked. So how I usually do this is like I usually would hear the track and like freestyle on melody, but this time I had the melody that I was excited about. So I put that down. I put a couple like pre-chorus and verse ideas. I usually had like 1 or 2 to 3 ideas for you. And then, we would have our session. I would show Mark my melodic ideas, and in the actual, you have my first version of it that we kind of Frankenstein. I actually do say like one of the versions, but I say like no golden at the end. I don't say gonna be, but no golden, no chosen or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And then you had the idea of gonna be golden.
Well, because like kind of while Ejae's working with the track, I sort of freestyle brainstorming what can the character be saying, and again, this just having seen a couple of other versions of the songs and what worked or didn't work, this idea of yearning and desire and the sense of we're so close, if I can just do this. And so that like kind of had Gonna Be Golden and a bunch of these other like, oh, Zoe and all that. But then when Ejae,
It's gibberish.
so I'm like hearing that dun 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 dun, like gonna be, right? You can hear how she builds with the harmonies in it, the emotion, the feel of that top line. It all is built around, I mean, the track is there, the emotion is in the music, and then the challenge and the fun becomes what are these words that can make sure we're hitting all of the story and emotional beats that don't get in the way of the emotion and support the journey the character's going.
It all like fell really perfectly together, right? Like when I was making that melody in the car, I didn't know how high it was. I was just using my head voice. I only noticed it when I was laying it down, and I was like, wait, what? Oh God! And then it was like, wait, this is perfect, because Maggie and Chris was literally looking for something that's like a high note, and I really had to portray like a metaphor, like you said, Rumi was like really desperate and like yearning for this A5, like essentially, Honmun, aka Honmun. But yeah, it was just like it was just perfect, like it just everything just fell into place.
Yeah, well, because the other part of it too is you only have limited real estate in a movie, and especially with this, you're finding the structure that sits on the stories. So Rumi's lost her voice, is losing her voice at this point in the movie. So the idea that you get to hear the verse and chorus with the high notes sung in the music video they released, that can lock it in the audience's head. The bridge, you're going to reveal the twist, and then in the rehearsal that's live, that's when at the end of the structure she's going to not be able to sing the note. And part of when Ejae sent that melody, it's like, oh, this melody can be the pre-chorus, the second half of the chorus, coming out of the bridge, and then again on the other side of the chorus. You're going to get to hear that melody 4 or 5 times.
Unfortunately for me.
Real estate. Yeah, unfortunately for her. She has to sing
But
it
yeah,
over and over.
that's like 5 times.
Yeah, but it's such a it's a collaboration with, everyone, the filmmakers, and with Ian, who is kind of overseeing all this music, but also such an amazing sounding board. Throw things to him, and then Maggie and Chris come back with a bunch of notes on the song and a bunch of notes on the lyrics, and we probably rewrote the bridge like 4 or 5 times.
It was a lot of fine tuning, right? Like I think even with that demo you heard, there were different versions that we would send to the directors, and every time we send them an idea, we would at least send like 1 or 2 ideas, right?
Yeah.
Just to make sure that they love it, and also like for example, like that melody, it was na 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 like flowers in the dark, right? But there was another option which was I was a ghost, I was alone, da, 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 da. That was another option. And we ended up choosing that option because I mean, as a pop song, simple is best. But like again, like in theater and like in writing for a film, like you have to, what you said about real estate, like we need enough melodies to fit in words to explain what's going on, you know? So that was the challenging part and like the constant collaboration part that was really hard, but awesome.
Yeah.
We did.
Why do you think this film has caught on so big everywhere?
I mean, hard to know. It's all a lot of things aligning, but I do think underneath it you have so many people, and starting with Maggie's vision for this movie, extending to the people who were part of it early, extending to, Spring I think she's here on the music team, and music team on Sony, who was able to reach out to Black Label and put together all of these writers. You have people who are working on something that is not IP, that is not well known, that is not with huge movie stars, and the fact that everybody is kind of taking a flyer a little bit. Like we're collaborating in new ways, you're pushing the edge of something, even what Maggie's talked about, this hybrid of comedy and something serious, to try and make something new, and the idea of pop and narrative songwriting in a way that seems maybe kind of intuitive, but actually happens almost never. We sort of realize it's a struggle. And to be able to make something like that, have everyone have faith in it and sweat, but then even if people hadn't seen it on I think really on a streamer like Netflix, and word of mouth hadn't been able to build through people who became part of this fandom. I mean, we're sitting up here because of the fans who discovered this movie, who spread the word, who posted on social media, and who wanted to listen to these songs. And that kind of organic growth is part of the magic that I think is why we're here.
I mean, I also think on top of that, like, there's so many layers to it, to be honest. Like, it's the first Korean-based, animated film. That was great in itself. I mean, K-pop Demon Hunters, a really cool title and a really cool, like, idea. It was so fresh. And it was so new in so many different ways, like, to the T. It's a lot of people's first time with something, right? My first time doing film, first time doing K-pop, right? Maggie's first time directing, like, Black Label as well, the first time doing film, and it was just that newness. It was scary, but it was also amazing. That's what created magic, because we brought something very new to the table, created something, again, fresh. And I think that's what caught people's attention. And also on top of that, the message is just so beautiful, the constant battle with duality. We experience it every single day. And I think, there's so many layers to this, like the attention to detail, not just with the animation, but like the story and the music and each layer of music. Why is this sound here? And like, why did we use this sound here? And like using Korean traditional sound. And it's just so many things like that. Also, fans love to dig in and find Easter eggs. You could do that with this movie. Literally, like every single person in this film worked very, very hard. We put all-nighters. And so many revisions, so many collaboration. Like, collaboration was so key, and I think people felt that in the story, in the singing.
It's what the story is a little bit too. It's about connection. It's about how music brings people together. You have Huntrix, which brings people together with music, and Saja Boys, who isolate people through music. And the message of collaboration.
And the movie is literally breaking the fourth wall because it's so relatable, I think.
I understand you're going to be performing on the Jimmy Fallon show next week. Well, good luck with that. Congratulations on the film, and thank you for being with us tonight, Ejae and Mark Sonnenblick.